Welcome to NTD Newsroom. I'm Stephanie Cox. Trouble in the Midwest as heavy rain, wind, and tornadoes pound the region. Hundreds are evacuating due to an imminent dam failure. A federal jury finds Senator Bob Menendez guilty of 16 counts of corruption and bribery. We have details of the trial. At age 39, Senator J.D. Vance could become the second youngest vice president in U.S. history. Who is the freshman Ohio senator and what does he stand for? President Biden says the rent is too high for many Americans and he wants Congress to fix that. What he's proposing to lawmakers. Paris is remapping traffic routes ahead of next week's Olympic Games. We'll tell you how the dedicated Olympic lanes should ensure smooth travel around Paris for athletes and others. A scary situation in southern Illinois. Residents in Nashville City are ordered to evacuate immediately because a nearby dam could fail at any moment. Some 300 homes are in the evacuation zone directly downstream from the Nashville City Reservoir Dam. Officials warned in a social media post that the dam has been overtopped with floodwaters. This is happening in Washington County, Illinois, around 50 miles southeast of St. Louis. So far, between 2 to 6 inches of rain has fallen in the area over the past 24 hours. The National Weather Service is warning that life-threatening flash flooding is ongoing. The rain was part of a series of storms that swept across the Midwest and which led to tornadoes in the region, including near Chicago. Over 200,000 customers are without power in Illinois, and a woman in Indiana died after a tree fell onto a home. And a jury has found Senator Bob Menendez guilty in his corruption and bribery trial. The New Jersey Democrat was convicted on all 16 charges in a Manhattan federal court today. Prosecutors say Menendez and his wife Nadine took gold bars, a car, mortgage payments, and hundreds of thousands in cash from 3 businessmen. In return, Menendez would see that billions of dollars in U.S. aid went to Egypt, where one of the businessmen had ties. The feds also say he tried to influence law enforcement investigations of the 2 other businessmen. His wife is scheduled to be tried at a later date. After the verdict, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called for the senator to resign. His sentencing is set for late October. And it's day 2 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, and several big names are on the roster for tonight's list of speakers, including Trump's former presidential rivals. Joining us now live is NTD's White House correspondent Iris Tao, who's there at the convention. Good afternoon to you, Iris. What are we expecting today, and what's the former president up to?
Good afternoon to you, Steph. So former President Trump, who appeared at the convention last night with a bandage on his right ear, will again be watching the speeches tonight at the convention from the family box right there at this arena right here, watching the speeches later tonight at around 9 p.m. local time. And in just a few moments, his new VP pick, Senator J.D. Vance, will be doing a walkthrough on the podium to prepare for his speech tomorrow at the RNC. And meanwhile, tonight there are also quite some big names who will be speaking. That include Senator Marco Rubio, Vivek Ramaswamy, Governor Ron DeSantis, and notably former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley has just accepted an invitation to speak at the RNC just last Sunday, and that's pretty late compared with other speakers. And it wasn't actually until May this year when she said she would vote for Trump in November, and that's after she suspended her presidential campaign this March. And meanwhile, a big thing to watch for tonight will be how Nikki Haley addresses the former president and the race, especially given their heated exchanges during the presidential primaries earlier this year in the Republican GOP race. And just earlier this month, Nikki Haley actually encouraged her earned delegates during the primaries to cast their vote for former President Trump and at the RNC. And in her speech tonight, we're expecting her to call on her voters, call on her supporters among Americans to vote for Trump as well in November. Of course, another big thing to watch for tonight will be how the audience, including potentially former President Trump at that family Assembly box how they will react to Nikki Haley's speech tonight when she addresses the convention. And meanwhile, as we're waiting for Senator J.D. Vance to come up to the podium right behind us to do his walkthrough here to prepare for his speech, we just got an announcement from the Trump campaign saying that former President Trump and J.D. Vance, his new VP pick, will be holding their first rally after the nomination at the RNC this Saturday in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And that comes just a week after the attempted assassination against former President Trump last weekend in Butler, Pennsylvania. We did hear about this upcoming rally actually before the rally last weekend, but we thought that might change or get canceled or postponed given the new risks and uncertainties at these rallies. But the word is now official that the rally will go on as planned. It's just that it's going to be held indoors. So a lot to watch for in the coming days. We wait for both Trump and Vance to make their speeches here and also for the rally this upcoming weekend after the assassination attempt. Back to you.
For sure. All eyes will be on that rally and, of course, the upcoming events at the RNC. Thank you so much, Iris. And Republicans have nominated, as you heard, J.D. Vance as their vice presidential candidate. The Ohio senator could become the second youngest vice president in our nation's history. But who is J.D. Vance? Our Washington correspondent Luis Martinez has more on the Republican presidential candidate's running mate.
James David Vance was born in 1984 in Middletown, Ohio. Born into poverty, abuse, and drug addiction in his family, J.D. Vance became a Republican symbol of the working class American who grew up in the Rust Belt to become a successful venture capitalist. Vance joined the military right after high school and served as a U.S. Marine combat correspondent in Iraq. He later graduated summa cum laude from Ohio State University and then went on to law school at Yale University. J.D. Vance rose to the national spotlight in 2016 when he published his memoir titled Hillbilly Elegy. In 2016, Vance was a Trump detractor, and he even said he could not stomach the then president.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains.
But then in 2022, J.D. Vance won the Ohio Senate race on an America First platform and with former President Donald Trump's endorsement.
But I think J.D. Vance offers him someone who, in a way of repenting from that earlier resistance to Trump, has become one of the most full-throated advocates of the national populist MAGA agenda.
As a U.S. Senator, J.D. Vance has opposed Ukraine aid and, like Trump, believes the abortion issue should be decided by each state. Vance has supported a former president on building a border wall and being tough on immigration. To some Democrats, like Ohio Congressman Greg Lantzman, J.D. Vance is a divisive choice.
You know, those of us in Southwest Ohio know Mr. Vance. That's not who he is. He's not a unity pick. And it was unfortunate that at a time when we all need to come together and that somebody like Mr. Vance, who's known for turning up the temperature, that's what he does, that was unfortunate.
To Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance possesses a profound understanding of the anxieties of working families and the policy expertise to help former President Trump. And to some, the 39-year-old senator and vice presidential candidate is a potential heir to former President Trump's political legacy. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Luis Eduardo Martinez, NTD News.
Vance's book is now a top seller on Amazon. Hillbilly Elegy has rocketed to the #1 and 2 positions on the online retailer's bestseller list. The book sold more than 1.5 million copies within hours of Trump announcing him as his VP pick. Vance's memoir highlights his upbringing in a poverty-stricken, drug-addicted family. He tells the story of how he was able to rise from those circumstances to become a U.S. Marine and a Yale Law School graduate. The VP announcement also saw the senator's followers on X grow from 500,000 to 1 million. And NTD will be covering the Republican National Convention all week. We'll have on-the-ground access, in-depth analyses, and a lot more prepared for you during our live special coverage of The Nation Decides 2024. Join Steve Lance and Tiffany Meyer for our 4-day coverage this week through Monday through Thursday, resuming tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Now turning to the Democratic National Convention, Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling says the city is ready for next month's event. Snelling says security measures for the event are constantly evolving. He says police are going to do everything they can to protect everyone.
So the security measures that are in place, that we have in place currently, to prevent those types of incidents from happening. So we've had nearly a year to plan for those things. Now, again, if we get any additional intel, if we see things where we know we need to make adjustments or we need additional manpower, we will make those adjustments as soon as possible.
The main DNC event will be held in Chicago's United Center. The area is enclosed, similar to the venue where the Republican National Convention is taking place. The Secret Service is in charge of security at the United Center and will also provide security at McCormick Place for other DNC events next month. And today, President Biden is asking Congress to pass legislation that would urge landlords to limit rent increases or lose some tax benefits. Under Biden's proposal, corporate landlords who own 50 or more apartment units would be required to cap rent hikes to 5% annually. Biden announced the plan as he prepares to travel to the battleground state of Nevada. He also has a proposal to use public land for as many as 15,000 affordable housing units in Nevada. In a statement, Biden says Americans are struggling to pay high rent or afford a mortgage, and he plans to change that. While the White House says the policy would cover more than 20 million rental units across the country. And President Biden is campaigning in Nevada today. Las Vegas police say they're ready for Biden's visit. Police say there will be extra security at all stops on the president's visit. President Biden will be speaking at the Mandalay Bay Resort today. He'll be at the MGM Grand tomorrow. Biden told reporters yes when asked if he has faith in his Secret Service. The Chicago Police Superintendent is also confident in the security plan for the Democratic National Convention. And a week after Hurricane Beryl devastated parts of Houston, over 140,000 remain without power. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is demanding an investigation into the response by CenterPoint Energy, the utility serving the area. He also wants answers about their preparations for future storms.
The lack of power provided by CenterPoint continues to compromise lives here in the greater Houston-Harris County area. If you are without power in the extreme heat that we are facing, that alone can cause challenges. But also it reduces your access to food in your apartment or your house, water wherever you may live or wherever you may need it, ice and other things like that.
Abbott says he's sending a letter to the Public Utility Commission of Texas. He wants to know why restoration has taken so long and what can be done to fix the problem. Abbott is giving CenterPoint until the end of the month to say what it will do to reduce or eliminate power outages in the event of another storm. CenterPoint defended its preparation for the storm and said it brought in about 12,000 additional workers from outside Houston. CenterPoint's CEO said over 2,100 utility poles were damaged during the storm and over 18,000 trees were removed from power lines. This affected more than 75% of the utility's distribution circuits. And looking now at Israel, the controversial conscription of ultra-Orthodox Jews is set to begin in Israel. The military today announced it will start sending draft notices next week.
The Israeli Supreme Court recently ruled that young religious men have to begin enlisting for military service. Ultra-Orthodox men have historically been exempt from the draft, which is compulsory for most Jews. On Tuesday, the military said it would begin sending draft notices to ultra-Orthodox men next week. A few days ago, Israel's defense minister said the military needs more soldiers to end Hamas. But the decision has been met with controversy. Multiple protests have taken place since the Supreme Court ruling. Another demonstration against the draft has been planned for Tuesday evening in an ultra-Orthodox city near Tel Aviv.
And now on China. As Communist China grows its military and ramps up hostility in the Indo-Pacific, the U.S. is taking action. Some of the U.S. Navy's most advanced fighter jets are headed for their new station in Japan. NTD's Fiona G. has that story.
With a wider wingspan, harder to detect stealth, and state-of-the-art combat technologies, the F-35C Lightning II fighter jets are headed for Japan. Defense analysts say the deployment shows that the U.S. Navy understands the need for defense against Chinese stealth fighters. The F-35C Lightning II is a fifth-generation fighter specifically made for aircraft carriers. Fifth generation refers to fighter jets developed in the 21st century that are the most advanced options available today. The newly dispatched unit will be assigned to the USS George Washington, a U.S. aircraft carrier based in Japan. Experts say the F-35s will allow the Navy to fight Chinese jets in air combat and better counter anti-ship missiles. As Beijing continues to develop its weapons capabilities and ramp up hostility in the Indo-Pacific, the U.S. is preparing accordingly to defend itself and its allies. Fiona G., NTD News.
Today in Paraguay, customs agents there seized over 4 tons of cocaine hidden inside sugar bags headed to Antwerp, Belgium, according to investigators. The seizure represents a record for Paraguayan drug investigators, according to the director of the Paraguayan Anti-Drug Ministry. The operation was carried out in a private port on the Paraguayan River, where agents seized almost 9,000 pounds of cocaine. Investigators estimate the shipment was valued at $200 million. When we come back, there will be new traffic patterns for people getting around Paris during the upcoming Olympic Games. We'll show you what to expect. Thai police find 6 people dead at an upscale hotel in Bangkok. The incident comes as Thailand looks to promote its tourism industry, a key driver of its economy. That and more after the break.
What if you could whiten your teeth by simply brushing your teeth? Now you can with Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that safely gets your teeth white and keeps them white every day, just by brushing your teeth.
I never thought that whitening my teeth could be so easy. I just put the gel on the brush, the toothpaste on it, brush, and I can see my white teeth.
Simply add Smile Actives to any toothpaste and our patented PolyClean technology activates into a powerful microfoam that penetrates into the enamel surface to safely lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth. Without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
And now, Smile Actives is even better with new Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power, clinically shown to whiten teeth faster, up to 8 shades. 100% of users saw whiter teeth. On food stains, coffee and wine stains, even on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
If you could use something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when now you can whiten your teeth with new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel every time you brush your teeth? Call or go to smileactives.com and for a limited time get new Pro Whitening Gel for just $24.95. Order in the next 5 minutes and buy one get one absolutely free for just $24.95. That's 2 for 1 and save 58%. We'll even include free shipping. Get your teeth whiter guaranteed or return it within 60 days for your money back.
I smile every day now.
The difference is literally night and day.
So now I'm always smiling, always choosing, because now my teeth are much whiter.
This offer is not available in stores, so call or click now before the special buy one get one free offer goes away.
Hi, I'm Tim Che, the director and writer of The Firing Squad. You can participate in our Million Souls campaign, inviting everyone you know to Jesus. Listen, we all face some kind of firing squad in our lives, and yet faith in the Lord, that challenge can lead us to true peace in this insane world. We can't do it without you. We're competing with big Hollywood movies, so we're relying on your voice to spread the word. Thank you again for supporting this important movie.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Thai police found 6 people dead at an upscale hotel in Bangkok today, including at least 1 Vietnamese American. The country's prime minister has ordered an immediate investigation. NTD's Andrew Thomas has the latest.
Today, Thai police encountered 6 bodies at Bangkok's luxury Grand Hyatt Erawan Hotel. Officers arrived on scene after receiving a call from the hotel staff at around 5:30 p.m. local time. Bangkok's police chief said a maid discovered the bodies after the guests failed to check out and found it locked from the inside. He added that there were no signs of a struggle. Authorities said all of the deceased were foreign nationals, 3 male and 3 female. The Grand Hyatt Erawan has over 350 rooms and is located in a popular tourist district known for luxury shopping and restaurants. The incident comes as Thailand looks to promote its tourism industry, a key driver of Southeast Asia's second largest economy. Police are still looking for a 7th person included in the booking. A cause of death has not been confirmed. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
According to a report from a Singaporean media outlet, 4 of the 6 people were Vietnamese nationals and 2 of them were Vietnamese Americans. After a preliminary investigation, the police said they believe the cause of death was poisoning. But it's still unclear whether the individuals committed suicide or were poisoned. NTD could not verify this information at this time. Next to Paris. 10 days ahead of the Olympic Games kickoff, Paris is making significant changes to its roadways. This includes the opening of dedicated lanes today. NTD's international correspondent David Vivez has that story.
115 miles of dedicated lanes opened Tuesday in Paris in preparation for the Olympic Games. These lanes, reserved for accredited vehicles, cover major routes such as several highways and the Paris Ring Road. The Olympic lanes are dedicated to transporting official delegations, doctors, athletes and journalists to competition sites. Taxis and buses can also use them.
They are activated 24/7 and are equipped with special signages on the sides of the street or on the road, which have been installed at regular intervals.
To enforce the proper use of these lanes, Paris has deployed a large number of police officers.
You have seen numerous officers deployed around Paris for several days and several weeks now. These are notably reinforcements.
The implementation of these lanes will significantly affect ordinary road users, particularly motorcyclists and people on scooters who are used to ride between the gaps. They will now need to adjust their routes to avoid the left-hand lanes marked with the Paris 2024 logo. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
And almost a year's worth of rain in one day. The downpour submerged a small town in Henan, a province in central China today. That's as the extreme storms that battered the south this summer are moving north there. The town logged 24 inches of rain in 24 hours, the most anywhere in China. That's according to national weather forecasters. Authorities also put in place the most severe flood control measures for the city today. Northern China has been on high alert for heavy rain since yesterday. Beijing suspended many train lines in suburban areas following an early warning for thunderstorm and flash floods. The region where Henan, Shandong, and Anhui provinces meet would see particularly heavy rainfall today. And in business news, a new report shows retail sales holding steady, and Google is preparing to make one of its largest purchases in the company's history. Here's NTD's Don Ma with today's Business Matters.
Okay, thank you very much, Steph. Retail spending has been holding mostly steady since the beginning of this year, and it followed that trend in June, according to data from the Commerce Department released Tuesday. So last month's reading was better than the outright decline that economists had projected. Consumer spending powers 2/3 of the U.S. economy, so retail sales, which capture spending on goods and food services, make up a big chunk of that overall spending. Based on Tuesday's report, online sales and spending at home improvement stores jumped from May to June. Meanwhile, sales at gas stations and spending at car dealerships and automotive parts declined. Meanwhile, Google is close to making a really large bet on cybersecurity. The tech giant is nearing its largest acquisition ever. It's a potential $23 billion deal for cybersecurity startup Wiz. Wiz makes cybersecurity software for cloud computing. Google's last major purchase was nearly a decade ago, $12.5 billion for Motorola. This potential deal has still not been finalized. And finally, a major Russian cybersecurity company is calling it quits in the U.S. Monday. Kaspersky Lab announced it is winding down U.S. operations after nearly 2 decades. And the move comes a month after the Commerce Department banned U.S. sales of the company's software and products, citing national security issues. The shutdown is expected to start July 20th. Along with layoffs for U.S.-based employees, Kaspersky Lab started in Moscow in 1997. It grew into one of the world's most successful antivirus software program companies, alongside U.S. rivals like McAfee and Symantec.
And back to the assassination attempt on former President Trump. Just hours after it happened, an Italian craftsman is already shaping figurines of the moment the shots rang out. He says it was a significant historical event that he wanted to capture.